horses trained so well that they move very precise movements and only on command. That's the Metro Police Mounted Unit. They are just coming by our broadcast location now at Nathan Phillips Square. We're also looking forward to the parade marshals this year, and we've got a couple of celebrities now who are handling that.
We certainly do. Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini, who were the world's pair figure skating champions for Canada. They're now retired from amateur competition. Barbara and Paul didn't do all that well at the Olympics in Sarajevo, but 2 weeks later in Ottawa, they won the world's gold medal winners.
Let's go down now to one of our other broadcast locations and a report from Peter Gross.
Well, I could safely say that there is no city in Toronto that has the kind of rapport with its policemen that the city of Toronto has. And three gentlemen behind me, Barry, Phil, and John, have drawn the admirable task of guarding me. Just very briefly there, John, what's involved in the police coverage of this parade?
Peter, I would say there's approximately about 200 Metro policemen, and I believe approximately another 100 auxiliary have been brought in for this.
Okay, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Your police on the horses just went by. Don't you wish we were at Woodbine today? No, don't say that. We wish we were covering the parade. And we'll go back now to Gord.
Thank you, Peter. And just to my right here, off camera, are the honorary parade marshals this year, Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini. They're waving to all the older people who are standing here on the stage just out of camera range here.
Paul and Barbara will be starting a professional career in skating very soon.
The couple of kids from Danforth Technical School just passing by now. This promises to be a visual spectacular, and we hope you stay with us throughout the afternoon. It's going to be a great thing to see. Canadian Pacific's gift to the city of Toronto to celebrate its 150th anniversary, this entire parade today. And our congratulations to CP for this spectacular parade and the great organization. And the time and the money that has gone into this thing has been a major undertaking, and they've done very well.
We're taking a look now at the entry from Danforth Technical School. For what?
Maybe when the car comes at the end. Okay? Obviously, I can't do anything.
Okay, this is the float representing Danforth Tech's contribution to the technical education of students in Toronto's East End. Gloriously attired in crimson and white.
How about if I walk with this guy?
Now, just behind the marching band here, we see a cake celebrating Toronto's 150th birthday. Appreciative audience out here right now. There you have it, the cake. Toronto's 150th birthday. Beautifully done by the students at Danforth Technical School. You must remember that CP is awarding major prizes for floats in today's Sesquicentennial celebration.
$35,000.
$35,000, and you'll be looking for ingenuity and for originality, and we're going to see a lot of that here today.
Great stuff. The Danforth Technical School, just passing the reviewing stand here down at Nathan Phillips Square. All right, let's get a further insight now on what's happening in and around Nathan Phillips Square as we go down to Peter Gross.
Okay, well, you got to check out the roller skates on this particular student from Danforth Tech. What's your name, buddy?
Brian Gass.
Brian, and what's the significance here?
We're showing our sports end of the school.
You could, in fact, be wearing a Toronto Maple Leaf hockey sweater, not a Chicago Blackhawk one, in fact.
This is our school jersey.
Oh, okay, fair enough. How did the Danforth Redmen make out in football this year?
Not too good.
How'd they make out in basketball?
I'm not sure. I think we went pretty far, but we didn't get it.
Okay, we'll just roller skate on down Queen Street. Thanks very much. Okay, Gord, back to you.
Thank you, Peter. The parade continues. CityPulse's live coverage of the Sesqui Youth Parade as I believe this is the Girl Guides of Canada approaching the viewing stand right now. This entry is from the Girl Guides of Canada, and it depicts different scenes of guides at camp. The first scene, circa 1920, shows guides in their period uniforms. No luxuries then. The guides stuffed their mattresses with straw from nearby farms, and they cooked over wood fires.
Now, Gord, can you tell what those guides are? They're wearing blue uniforms. Do you know what the distinction...
No.
You don't?
No.
Well, I have it right here.
Perhaps you can fill me in on that.
Blue dress, a red and blue maple leaf tie, and those are guides. They're usually 9 to 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
And girls who are a little bit older than that, between the ages of 12 and 15, also wear navy skirts, white blouses, but they have different tie colors. In this case, green and blue maple leaves.
Now, at the back end of the trailer, at the first part, you saw how they did it in 1920, and then at the rear, they've got another tent set up that shows how they do their camping exercises in present day. The guides are more comfortably attired. Today, they cook over gas stoves, they sleep in comfortable down-filled sleeping bags, and carry light, compact knapsacks. Isn't that nice?
Gord, you may not know this, but Sir Henry and Lady Pellet, builders of Casa Loma, were strong supporters of the Girl Guides. Lady Pellet was the Guides' first commissioner, and Sir Henry sponsored rallies and camps for the Guides of Canada, both at Casa Loma and their country properties. So the Girl Guides of Canada have a long and distinguished history.
Yep, and although they share the same founder, Lord Baden-Powell, Girl Guides and...
Boy Scouts.
Yep. They've always been totally separate entities.
Yes, they certainly have.
All right, more reports now from down in what is happening at Nathan Phillips Square as we watch the Metro Police motorcycle unit doing a display in front of us. Let's go down to John Majhor.
Hi, I'm not with the motorcycle display unit, guys. I'm with drummers here. What is your name? Chris. Hi, Chris. How you doing? I really don't mean to interrupt your parade going here, but you having a great time in the Sesquicentennial parade?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
About that.
Okay, well, that's it for the guys. We just lost the musicians here. We got the Metro Toronto Police Cadet Court on the way down, and the young ladies are whipping by here, but they're quite a way down the street right now, so we're going to go back to you, Gord, until we can get them again.
There's the Metro Police motorcycle unit on Queen Street, just across from the reviewing stand. Precision riders. We'll have the Cadet Corps coming along. I can see them now, just passing through Bay Street. And they're being preceded by someone on a unicycle.
There are 64 cadets in total, accompanied by 4 senior officers. Sergeant John Burnett leads the 4 8-motorcyclist cadets. Inspector Grant Waddell leads the color guard. He is an overall officer in charge, and Staff Sergeant Gary Madrick and Sergeant Richard Baker accompany the marchers.
Now, like many of the cadets you'll see this afternoon, these are young people who think this is the career they would like to try, and they're giving it a shot now. Parade performance is a sort of a fun way to teach order and discipline required in such forces.
The Toronto Police Cadet program, by the way, began in 1938 and was incorporated under the Metro Police banner when the forces were amalgamated in 1957.
All of the cadets work in support of officers in the field. They learn firsthand the situations they can expect if they do go on to graduate from police college. There's the view of the Cadet Corps from street level. They are getting a hand from the crowd here at the reviewing stand.
And the Cadet Corps are young men, ages 17 to 20.
Let's go back once again to Peter Gross.
Okay, Michelle, how do you do this?
How do you walk? It's the same thing you're asking.
No, I've tried it. It's not that easy.
Well, you didn't learn how to walk. It took you a few years to know that, or at least one. It's the same thing with this.
This guy's making me feel real short, but there he is, Michelle, the unicyclist. Unicycle on down Queen Street, Michelle.
Yeah. Right.
Annie and Gord, what's up from your point of view?
Thank you, Peter. That, by the way, was Michelle from the Humberview Unicycle Club at Humberview School. And the Metro Police Cadet Corps has just passed. There's the Chinese public school just approaching, Metro Police coming by, and CityPulse's live coverage of the Sesqui Youth Parade will continue after this break. right, we're back here at Nathan Phillips Square, and you're hearing in the background some lovely sounds from the city of Etobicoke, I believe it is. Now, while we're in a commercial break, and we should explain to members of the viewing audience that you occasionally will miss the odd float when we're into a commercial break, but
unfortunate but true.
Yes. A cacophony of sounds down here. Nathan Phillips Square, we just missed a steel band. They just went through. Now we have this band coming through.
Yes, this is the Etobicoke. This is the Etobicoke Collegiate Band under the direction of Don Strathby, and let's have a listen.
There's Peter Gross down there.
I got nothing to say. I'm just grooving with the music down here. These guys are great. How's it going? When do you get to play next?
That is the Etobicoke Collegiate Institute Senior Stage Band.
And they are fabulous.
Very, very good. Just a small example of the kind of entertainment you're going to see this afternoon during the Sesqui Youth Parade. That's the city of Etobicoke just going by. Got all kinds of floats and banners and bands. 5,000 young people have taken the time to come out and celebrate with us today Toronto's 150th birthday. And while we're on the subject of mentioning birthdays and anniversaries and that sort of thing, we also have to remember this is the province of Ontario's bicentennial. They just had a float go by us here. Here's a shot down to street level, Ann.
Okay, these are cheerleaders from the Etobicoke school system, and let's see, that's blue on blue, so that tells me that these are cheerleaders from Kipling Collegiate Institute doing their precision work out there on the street. We like that.
Yeah, they're always crowd pleasers. How can you lose with cheerleaders? We mentioned that the weather is absolutely letter perfect for this parade today. Only one small exception, and that is exactly where you and I are sitting.
Yes, it's a little
Sheraton
chilly.
Hotel is in the way, blocking the sun.
That's right, and it's kind of chilly down
breezy
here.
down here in the shade.
Education Etobicoke, 2E's.
There's an old Etobicoke fire truck. Looks like an old LaFrance
It's
fire
known
truck.
as a quad. That means it includes a pump, a water tank, ladders, and a hose.
It is a LaFrance.
You're right. Good for you.
A 1948 LaFrance. LaFrance was a very popular name with fire trucks, as was Bickle Seagrave. I used to be an aficionado of fire trucks.
And I can tell.
All right, let's go to John Majhor, see what he's got for us.
Well, I'm sitting down here on Queen Street. I've got the cushiest job on the entire parade route, you guys, so just get green with envy if you don't mind. I'm sitting here next to Mike, who goes to where?
Mimico High School.
Okay, you told me that you don't have a float in this parade, but you're here with the Air Cadets, right?
Yeah, a marching band.
Okay, so why aren't you marching in the parade, Mike?
Because I retired last week. I'm no longer a cadet anymore.
You don't look retirement age. What happens? What happens after you retire as a cadet?
Well, you can go back as an officer.
Okay, great stuff. You enjoying the parade?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, terrific. Back to you, Gord.
Thank you, John. And just down at street level, just right where John is, as a matter of fact, a couple of feet from him, is the Pan-Macedonian Association of Toronto. That's their float, just coming by our broadcast location right now. There's Peter Gross. He's standing there, giving a face.
He's talking to Alexander the Great, it looks like. Why don't we go down and listen to what he has to say?
All right, Peter.
Well, actually, this float is all Greek to me, but it does represent the Macedonian community of Toronto, and maybe we can just get back here and have a word with Miss Macedonian. And as you can see, she's my size, so we'll be here for about a week and a half, okay? My headsets are falling off. This is a very exciting moment. You enjoying yourself?
Yes, I am.
And your name is?
Vivi Ankoulis.
Vivi. That's beautiful. Well, the Greeks in this community, of course, wonderful people, and I eat their souvlaki all the time.
I do too.
Okay, back to you, Ann and Gord, as I jump off the Greek float.
Thank you, Peter. We have the Empire Statesman Band from Rochester, New York, as we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast. They, too, are celebrating their Sesquicentennial. Let's have a listen to this Statesman Band from Rochester, New York. Rochester, New York, putting on a great show here.
Fabulous. You know, the uniform is a tuxedo, which displays their desire to be absolutely first class. And they also say that they have a motto for being champions. They say, win the crowd first and the contest second.
What a great sound. Statesman band.
Fabulous, real crowd pleaser. Our CityPulse coverage will continue right after this break. Our live coverage of the Sesquicentennial parade continues, and let's go down to our live eye at the corner of Yonge and Dundas, where we are taking a look at the Emerald Cadets Drum Corps. There they are. The Drum Corps, the Emerald Cadets Drum Corps, hail from Mississauga. They were established about 5 years ago, and they've been in competition for the past 2 years, performing standard 13-minute marching maneuvers. They've been competing at least 9 times this year.
Yeah, these kids range in age from 9 to 16 years, and they have to pay a tuition of $85 a year. Now, so far this year, many of the kids have averaged $100 in fundraising, selling raffle tickets, maple syrup, car wash, tag days, that sort of thing. So what you've got is some very dedicated young people, and 5,000 of them have turned out for this parade today.
Not surprised. This is a salute to the youth of Toronto.
Community Folk Art Council.
Native dress of various minority groups in Toronto.
This is the entry from the Community Folk Arts Council of Metro. It has a membership of 240 different heritage groups. This float, by the way, represents how many of Metro's ethnic communities arrive from their native lands to Toronto. You see on one side Union Station, on the other side the skyline of Toronto with an airplane. You'll see that coming up in just a couple of seconds. Let's go down to Queen Street now, Ann, and see what John Majhor has for us.
Well, once again, I'm marching with a couple of the marchers in the parade here today. What's your name, please?
Milana.
Milana and?
Peter.
And Peter. And what part of the parade are you taking part in here?
Slovenian.
The Slovenian? How many of there are you of there? Are there of you? I'll phrase it correctly when you get the multiple choice answer here. How many of you participating here?
Not 80, about 30.
About 30 people?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you get the costumes from?
Europe, and some of them make their own, like mothers make them. Mine is from Europe. And
is it part of your family's?
No. This part is up on top. It's my hat. And then you dress up the hats to specify different, like girls should be wearing a bonnet.
Okay. Yeah. We're running out of microphone cord, cable, and camera cable, too. Thanks for talking to us. Back up to you, Gord.
Thank you, John. We've got 500 young people in this particular entry from the Folk Arts Council of Metro Toronto. They're all marching in ethnic costume. They hail from 35 different member groups. As we mentioned earlier on, part of the broadcast today will include all of the prize presentations and the festivities that will be happening down at the Royal York Inn.
Yes, and of course, one of the awards that will be presented today are for Best Float, and this entry shows exactly how a number of Toronto's ethnic groups arrived in Toronto. On one side we have Union Station. A train is depicted there, and on the other side you can't see that from our vantage point, but there's an airplane. There you have it. There's the train. Unfortunately, we don't have cameras on the other side. We can't show you the airplane, but there you have it.
Trust us, there's an airplane on the other side.
Gorgeous costumes, very colorful. The Community Folk Arts Council organizes a number of festivals you might recognize. They include Canada Day festivities, Easter and Christmas around the world. Now, Peter Gross is with the Polish delegation down on the street. Let's go and see what he's up to. Peter?
Well, Annie, I just thought you might appreciate this. Of course, these fine young people with their Polish backgrounds, citizens of Toronto. Both you and I, Annie, have Polish blood in our backgrounds, and as you know, there's a tremendously large Polish population in Toronto, so we'll just have a look at this delegation from our Polish citizens. We'll just kick it back to Ann and Gord anytime. Fabulous costumes.
I certainly do. The native costume, the Polish native costume, is very colorful, very beautiful. You see it here. Oranges and deep blues, indigo and red.
Is there some sort of special name for this costume? Does it have a specific name? You being of Polish descent should be able to tell me that.
I should be able to tell you, but I can't. Safe to say,
They're part of the contingent of 500 young people from the Folk Arts Council of Metro Toronto, all dressed in native costume, as we mentioned. There's the Portuguese community, Polish community, and I see the Russian delegation just
moving up there.
Yep, just passing the reviewing stand now.
This is one of the largest marching units in the entire parade, 500 young people.
The Community Folk Arts Council, by the way, organizes a number of festivals that you probably will recognize. They include, of course, the Canada Day festivities, Easter, and Christmas around the world. The council receives an operating grant from Metro Toronto.
We're taking a look now at the Russian delegation here.
We also have some Macedonian delegates and also some Serbians as well, all dressed in their native costumes. Very colorful indeed.
Very colorful. Coming up very shortly, we have the Scarborough East Boys and Girls Club. Just a little way behind them.
We've got 32 young people participating in that entry, Ann.
This entry from the East Scarborough Boys and Girls Club depicts Toronto as it was in the past and present and still unforeseen future. These children coming up here, you will see children dressed in period costumes from the early 1830s, the present, and someone's imaginative idea of what we'll put on our backs in the years to come.
These kids are also mimicking the daily activities of each of those time periods. The East Scarborough Boys and Girls Club.
The club, by the way, Gord, is a non-profit charitable organization providing recreational and education programming for young people from 7 to 17. The motto of the club, give a place to a kid.
This is going to be quite a spectacular. You've only seen a little bit of it. There's so much more to come. I think we've got a little splash of sunshine coming down.
I'm feeling a little warmer.
Let's go down to Peter Gross.
Okay, here are the kids. You guys are from Scarborough? Larry, I got a difficult question to ask you, but 150 years ago, there would have been a lot of children in Toronto. Do you think children today have it easier or tougher than kids 150 years ago?
Yeah.
Now, why is that? What's easier about being a kid in Toronto today?
We have better bikes like BMX, rallies, all those kind of bikes. Those are the best.
Yeah, but think about 150 years ago, there was no school that could just sit around and watch TV all day.
All you gotta do is just sit around, do nothing. We had that's boring. Just boring, too.
Okay, we're going to go to another big-sized kid, John Majhor.
Oh, hi there. We're just getting the shot set up here, guys. Way to come to me quick. Okay. Hi, come on and have a seat next to me here. We stopped the entire parade. I love causing havoc. You know what I mean? What's your name, please?
Mroczkowski.
How you doing, Max? And tell me a little bit about this float, please.
Oh, this is an international representation of the kind of people that live in Toronto. The past, referring to the countries from where all the people who live in Toronto come from. And then we would like to, the present generation, to attain the future goal, peace, happiness, prosperity, and progress, and unity for all.
That's my kind of float. I like it. Who all took part in making this? Did you have a bunch of people?
Yes, we have the children who prepare the flowers and other decorations of the float, and the parents that compose. This is the chairman of the project of the Filipino Heritage Language Committee of St. Columba, a Metro Separate School Board project, and in cooperation with the Silayan Filipino Community Center.
All right. It's a beautiful, beautiful float. It must have taken you a long time to put it together.
Oh, yes. We really worked day and night together. And that is another one who worked hard here, Mr. Mark Javier.
How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. We're going to have to go back down to the street because, once again, I'm running out of cable. Who am I going to here? Am I going to Peter? Oh, nobody's going to tell me. Okay, fine. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll throw it back to Gord in the main desk there, okay? Back to you, Gord.
All right, John, thank you very much. What you see on that Filipino Heritage Youth Group is a replica of City Hall with the words peace, unity, and progress.
The globe at the center of that float represents the many countries that immigrants left behind to start a new life in Canada, including the Filipino community. The present is represented by the 30 children dressed in ethnic costume pointing to the banner, which is a future goal for everyone to achieve. A very interesting float for the Filipino community.
Well, they're getting a nice hand in front of the reviewing stand here at Nathan Phillips Square. Nice job. And following the Filipino entry is Metro Toronto. It's a float and a band.
This is a 35-foot float, and it's obviously in the shape of a violin if you get a good close look at it.
It's self-propelled, and it's built by the folks at Metro's Santa Claus Parade Incorporated.
Now they know how to put on a parade over there.
Uh-huh. The 17-piece band hails from Malvern Junior Collegiate.
And those young musicians are music students in grade 9 and 10 and already very accomplished.
Somebody up there.
And just behind the Metro float is an entry from the Red Cross. Red Cross Youth.
This entry from the Canadian Red Cross Society depicts the many Red Cross youth activities in school classrooms. These programs teach safety awareness, babysitting, first aid, and international development organization. Now, the classroom is where most youngsters are introduced to the Red Cross. If you get a good look at that float, the float carries 3 Red Cross characters familiar to every school-aged children. Walter's Safety, Buddy Blood Drop, and the Word Gobbler.
The Canadian Red Cross, by the way, is celebrating its 75th year in Canada this year. The Metro Red Cross, made up of branches in Scarborough, North York, Etobicoke, and Toronto. With some variations, depending on the branch, Red Cross offers different services to the community, all kinds of them. The Red Cross also a partner in the United Way. Let's go down to the reviewing stand just about a couple of feet from us. Here's Peter Gross.
Well, thank you, Gord. This is Don King, president of Marathon Realty, of course, a subsidiary or whatever of CP. And, you know, you look at this parade, and as the sun just breaks out from behind the Sheridan Center, CP must be extremely proud of what they've accomplished today.
We're very proud. We're also very proud and very lucky. This is just a great parade, a lot of hard work, a lot of enthusiasm. And if we've done our little bit for it, that's just great.
You look out here and you see all of these wonderful young people having such a good time, and you realize that, I guess, the future of Toronto's safe.
A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedicated people, and just great.
Well, I think it's fair to say that CP can be very proud of themselves today. Let's go back to Gord and Annie.
Thank you, Peter. And just before we take a short commercial break, Ann, we've got a look here at the Canadian Knights Drum Corps.
Oh, and do they know how to put on a parade? They're old hands at it.
Very colorful entry indeed. Let's just listen to them a little while. CityPulse's live coverage of the Sesquicentennial Youth Parade will continue in a moment.